Jake Morrison opened his eyes slowly. The world around him was bright and clean. He lay on a soft bed inside a white room. Strange machines beeped softly near his head. His body felt stiff, like he had been sleeping for a very long time. Where am I? Jake asked himself. His voice sounded rough and dry. Jake sat up carefully. His muscles were weak, but they still worked. He looked around the room. Everything looked new and strange. The walls were made of some kind of smooth metal he had never seen before. Lights came from the ceiling, but he could not see any bulbs. A door opened with a soft hiss. A woman walked in. She had long brown hair and wore a white coat. Her face looked tired but happy. "You're awake," she said with a smile. "I'm Dr. Lisa Carter. How do you feel?" Jake rubbed his head. Confused. What happened to me? How long was I asleep? Dr. Carter sat down in a chair next to his bed. "This is hard to explain. You are in a special kind of sleep, a very long sleep." "How long?" Jake asked. "About 800,000 years. Dr. Carter said quietly. Jake stared at her. "That's impossible. People can't sleep that long." "I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. You were kept safe in a special chamber deep under the ground. So were millions of other people. We all just woke up a few weeks ago." Jake stood up slowly. His legs were shaky, but they held him up. He walked to a window and looked outside. "What?" He saw made his mouth drop open. The sky was a strange purple color. 3 moons hung in the sky, even though it was daytime. The trees were tall and silver, with leaves that glowed softly. Strange animals that looked like floating jellyfish drifted through the air. This was not the Earth, he remembered. "This can't be Earth," Jake said. "It is Earth," Dr. Carter said. "But it's very different now. Other beings found our planet while we slept. They changed it, made it more beautiful, but also more strange." Jake turned away from the window. "Other beings? You mean aliens?" "Yes, there are many different kinds of aliens now. They work together in something called the Galactic Federation. They've been running the galaxy for hundreds of thousands of years." Jake felt dizzy. He sat back down on the bed. What happened to all the humans? Why did we go to sleep? Dr. Carter looked sad. "We don't know yet. The computers that kept us safe have some records, but they're damaged. We're trying to figure it out." "How many of us are there?" Jake asked. "About 10 million. Humans woke up. We're all in underground cities like this one. There are 5 big cities under different parts of Earth." Jake rubbed his face with his hands. 10 million. That's not very many. No, it's not. But we're alive. That's what matters. A man walked into the room. He was tall and strong, with short, black hair. He wore clothes that looked like a military uniform, but made of the same strange material as the walls. "Jake, this is Commander Alex Stone," Dr. Carter said. "He's been helping organize everyone." Alex shook Jake's hand. "Good to see you awake. We need people like you." "People like me?" Jake asked. "You were a military officer before the long sleep, right?" "We found your records." "Captain Jake Morrison, United States Army." Jake nodded. "That was a long time ago. A very long time ago." "We need leaders," Alex said. "The aliens don't know we're here yet, but they will soon. We need to decide what to do when they find us." "What do you mean?" Jake asked. Dr. Carter looked worried. "The aliens think humans are extinct, dead, gone forever. When they find out we're still alive, they might not be happy about it." "Why not?" Jake asked. "We don't know. But we need to be ready for anything." Alex said. Jake walked back to the window. The strange world outside looked peaceful, but something felt wrong. He could feel it in his bones. "There's something else," Dr. Carter said. "Something strange is happening to us. To all the humans. What do you mean? Jake asked. We're different now. Stronger. Faster. Our minds work better. It's like someone changed us while we slept. Jake looked at his hands. They did feel different. More steady. More powerful. Changed us how? He asked. We don't know yet. But Ben right. One of our scientists thinks it was done on purpose. Like someone was preparing us for something. Preparing us for what? Dr. Carter and Alex looked at each other. We don't know, Alex said. But we need to find out. And we need to do it fast. Jake felt a strange feeling in his chest. It was like his heart was telling him something important was about to happen. Something that would change everything. When do we meet the aliens? Jake asked. Soon, Alex said. Maya Rodriguez, our language expert, is working on ways to talk to them. But first, we need to explore more of our underground cities. We need to understand what happened to us. Jake nodded. I'll help, whatever you need. Good, Alex said, because I think we're going to need every person we can get. As Jake looked out at the strange new world, he felt both scared and excited. Humans were awake again after almost 1,000,000 years. But they were not the same humans who had gone to sleep. They were something new, something different, and somewhere out in the thin galaxy, other beings were about to discover that humanity was not dead after all. 3 weeks after Jake Morrison woke up, the first alien ship arrived. Maya Rodriguez was working in the communication center when the alarm started beeping. She was a small woman with black hair and quick, smart eyes. She had been trying to learn the alien languages from old computer files. Jake, you need to see this, Maya called into her radio. Jake ran to the communication center. Through the big windows, he could see a ship in the sky. It was huge and shaped like a diamond. It glowed with blue light and made no sound as it flew. How big is that thing? Jake asked. About 2 miles long, Maya said. It's been circling the planet for an hour. I think they're scanning us. Dr. Lisa Carter ran into the room. The ship is sending out some kind of energy wave. It's not hurting us, but it's definitely looking for something. Looking for what? Jake asked. Life, technology, maybe both, Lisa said. Commander Alex Stone joined them. All the underground cities are reporting the same thing. There are 5 alien ships total, 1 over each of our cities. Jake felt that strange feeling in his chest again. His heart was beating fast, but not from fear. It was like his body was getting ready for something important. Maya, can you talk to them? Jake asked. Maya nodded. I think so. I've been studying their language patterns. But Jake, I have to tell you something. These aliens, they're not what I expected. What do you mean? Their language is old. Very old. And some of the words, they sound like they came from human languages, like they learned to speak from us a long time ago. Before Jake could ask more questions, a new sound filled the room. It was like music, but also like talking. The alien ship was trying to communicate. Maya sat down at her computer and started typing. Strange symbols appeared on the screen. After a few minutes, she looked up. They want to talk to our leaders, she said. They're sending someone down to meet us. Are they friendly? Alex asked. Maya looked worried. I don't know, but they seemed surprised, like they didn't expect to find us here. 2 hours later, Jake stood in the main meeting room of the underground city. With him were Dr. Carter, Alex, Maya, and 20 other humans. They were the leaders of their city. The other cities were watching through video screens. The alien that walked into the room was tall and thin. It had blue skin and large black eyes. It wore a uniform covered in symbols that glowed softly. When it spoke, its voice was deep and musical. Maya translated as the alien talked. It says its name is Admiral Zektar. It represents the Galactic Federation. It wants to know who we are and how we got here. Jake stepped forward. Tell it, I'm Captain Jake Morrison. We're humans. This is our home planet, Maya translated. The alien listened, then spoke again. This time, its voice sounded shocked. Admiral. Zektar says that's impossible, Maya said. It says humans have been extinct for 800,000 years. It says we can't be real humans. Tell it we're very real, Jake said. The alien walked closer to Jake. It looked at him carefully, like it was studying him. Then it spoke again. It says we look like humans, but we're different, stronger. It wants to know if we're some kind of copy or clone. Jake felt angry. We're not copies. We're the real thing. Admiral Zektar listened to Maya's translation. Then it did something strange. It touched a device on its uniform and started talking in a different language. Maya couldn't understand this one. It's talking to its ship, Maya said. I think it's asking for help. After a few minutes, Admiral Zektar turned back to them. When it spoke, its voice was serious. It says it needs to report this to the Federation Council. It says they will decide what to do with us. What do you mean, decide what to do with us? Alex asked. It says we might be dangerous. It says the Federation needs to study us to make sure we're safe. Jake felt that strange feeling in his chest getting stronger. Tell it we don't want to hurt anyone. We just want to understand what happened to us. Admiral Zektar listened, then spoke again. Maya's face went pale. It says we have to stay on Earth. It says no humans are allowed to leave the planet until the Federation Council decides our fate. We're prisoners? Jake asked. It says it's for our own protection and theirs. Jake looked at the alien. Even though he couldn't understand its language, he could see something in its eyes. Fear. The alien was afraid of them. Maya, ask it why it's afraid of us, Maya translated. Admiral. Zektar was quiet for a long time. Then it spoke very slowly. It says the Federation has rules about extinct species. It says when a species comes back from extinction, it can be very dangerous. Dangerous how? Dr. Carter asked. It won't say. But it says the Federation Council will meet in 3 days to decide what to do with us. Admiral Zektar turned to leave, then stopped. It looked at Jake again and spoke. It says something else, Maya said. It says we should be careful. It says not all members of the Federation will be happy to see us alive. After the alien left, Jake gathered his team in a smaller room. We need to prepare for anything, he said. I don't think all of these Federation aliens are friendly. What do you mean? Dr. Carter asked. Alex spoke up. I've been watching the news feeds from the alien ship. There are 7 different species in the Federation. Some of them are already saying we should be destroyed. Destroyed? Maya asked. Why? Because they think we're a threat to the galaxy, Alex said. They think extinct species come back wrong somehow. Jake thought about the changes in their bodies, the strength, the speed, the way his heart seemed to know things before his mind did. Maybe we are different, he said. But that doesn't make us dangerous. Dr. Carter looked worried. Jake, I've been studying our genetic changes. Whoever modified us during our long sleep, they did it very carefully. We're not just stronger and faster. We're smarter too. And there's something else. What? We're still changing. Every day, we're becoming more than we were. Jake felt his heart beat faster. Is that bad? I don't know. But I think we need to be ready for the Federation Council to be afraid of us. Very afraid. Outside, the alien ship continued to circle Earth. And somewhere in the galaxy, other beings were making plans for the humans who had returned from the dead. Jake looked at his team. They were good people, smart people, but they were also becoming Something new, something the galaxy had never seen before. We need to contact the other cities, Jake said. If the Federation decides we're too dangerous to live, we need to be ready to defend ourselves. Do you think it will come to that? Maya asked. Jake looked out the window at the alien ship. I hope not, but something tells me this is just the beginning. Dr. Amy Foster was digging through the old computer files when she found something that changed everything. Amy was a historian before the long sleep. She had brown hair and wore thick glasses. She spent most of her time in the deep parts of the underground city, looking through damaged computer systems. Jake, you need to see this right now. Amy called on her radio. Jake was in a meeting with the other city leaders when Amy's message came through. He could hear the excitement in her voice. What did you find? Jake asked. Not over the radio. You need to come down here. Bring Lisa and Alex too. Jake, Dr. Carter, and Alex went down to the lowest level of the city. Amy was standing in front of a huge computer screen. The screen showed pictures and words in languages Jake didn't recognize. Amy, what is this? Jake asked. These are the real history files, Amy said. The ones that were hidden and protected. Jake, we weren't from Earth originally. What do you mean? Dr. Carter asked. Amy pointed to the screen. Humans came from another planet, a planet called Terra Prime. We built a huge empire across the galaxy. We had thousands of worlds, millions of ships. We were the most powerful species in the galaxy. Alex stared at the screen. That's impossible. We're just one species. No, we weren't just one species, Amy said. We were the first species. We explored the galaxy before anyone else. And we found other worlds with life on them. Other species? Jake asked. Yes, but they weren't intelligent yet. They were like smart animals. So we helped them. We gave them technology. We taught them to build cities and ships. We made them into the species they are today. Jake felt his heart racing. Are you saying we created the other species in the Federation? Not created, but we helped them become intelligent. We were their teachers, their guides. Amy touched the screen and new pictures appeared. Look at this. The pictures showed humans working with other beings. Humans teaching blue-skinned aliens how to use tools. Humans showing fish-like creatures how to build underwater cities. Humans helping energy beings learn to control their power. The Galactic Federation species, Dr. Carter said quietly. We made them what they are. But there's more, Amy said. Something happened. Something bad. Look at this. The screen showed pictures of space battles. Huge ships fighting in the dark. Planets burning. Cities being destroyed. We were attacked, Amy said, by something called the Devourers. They weren't from our galaxy. They came from somewhere else. Somewhere far away. What were they? Alex asked. Amy looked scared. The files are damaged, but from what I can read, they were like us. But wrong. They wanted to destroy all life in the galaxy. Jake studied the pictures. What happened to them? We fought them. For thousands of years. The war was terrible. Billions of humans died. Entire star systems were destroyed. Did we win? Dr. Carter asked. Amy was quiet for a moment. I think so. But the cost was too high. The human empire was broken. Our species was dying out, so the leaders made a decision. What decision? Jake asked. They decided to put most of the human population to sleep, to hide them on safe worlds and wait for the galaxy to heal. They thought maybe in a few 100,000 years, it would be safe for humans to wake up again. Alex shook his head. But why don't the Federation species remember us? Why do they think we're extinct? Amy touched the screen again. Because we asked them to forget. We gave them their independence and told them to build their own civilization. We didn't want them to depend on us anymore. Jake felt that strange feeling in his chest again. But this time it was different. It was like his body was remembering something his mind had forgotten. Amy, what about the changes in our bodies? The strength and speed? Amy looked at another part of the screen. The sleep chambers didn't just keep us alive. They prepared us. The computers knew the Devourers might come back someday, so they made us ready to fight them. Are you saying the Devourers are coming back? Dr. Carter asked. Before Amy could answer, alarms started beeping throughout the city. Maya's voice came over the radio. Jake, get up here now. We're getting messages from all over the galaxy. Something is happening. Jake and his team ran back to the communication center. Maya was standing in front of a wall of screens. Each screen showed different parts of the galaxy. What are we looking at? Jake asked. Long-range sensors, Maya said. Ships are coming from outside the galaxy, lots of them. Jake felt his blood turn cold. How many? Thousands. Maybe more. And Jake, they're not like any ships in the Federation database. On the screens, they could see dark shapes moving through space. The ships were huge and black, with strange patterns on their hulls that seemed to move and change. When will they get here? Alex asked. The closest ones will reach Federation space in about 6 months, Maya said. Dr. Carter looked at the screens. Amy, are these the Devourers? Amy was studying the ship designs on her computer. I think so. The patterns match the old files. Jake felt his heart beating faster. His body was telling him to get ready for a fight. A big fight. Maya, have you been able to contact the Federation? Jake asked. Yes, but they're not listening to us. They're too busy arguing about what to do with us to pay attention to the real threat. What do you mean? Alex asked. Maya looked angry. Some of the Federation species want to destroy us before the unknown ships arrive. They think we're connected to them somehow. That's crazy, Dr. Carter said. Is it? Amy asked quietly. Look at the timing. We wake up, and 6 months later, the Devourers return. That's not a coincidence. Jake studied the screens. The dark. Ships were getting closer. And somewhere in the galaxy, the Federation was preparing to fight both the unknown threat and the humans. We need to contact the other human cities, Jake said. We need to tell them what Amy found. I already did, Maya said. General Kyle Brooks in the North American city is organizing our defenses. Kevin Parker in the European city is working on our technology. Everyone is getting ready. Ready for what? Dr. Carter asked. Jake looked at his team. They were scared, but they were also determined. They were ready to fight for their species and their new home. Ready for war, Jake said. The Devourers are coming back, and this time we're going to be ready for them. Amy looked at the computer screen showing the old battle records. Jake, there's something else. Something important. What? The files say that when the Devourers attacked before, they didn't just want to destroy us. They wanted to replace us. To become us. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. What does that mean? I think it means they're not just coming to destroy the galaxy, Amy said. They're coming to take it over. To make it theirs. Outside, the alien Federation ships continued to circle Earth. But now they had a bigger problem than just the humans. The real enemy was coming, and nobody was ready for what was about to happen. Jake looked at his team. They were the leaders of 10 million humans. It wasn't very many compared to the billions of aliens in the Federation, but maybe it would be enough. We need to try one more time to talk to the Federation, Jake said. They need to know what's coming. What if they don't listen? Alex asked. Jake felt his body getting ready for battle. His muscles were tense. His mind was sharp. He was becoming something new, something dangerous. Then we'll have to save the galaxy ourselves, he said. The first attack came without warning. Colonel Nick Davis was training with his soldiers when the alarm started screaming. Nick was a tough man with gray hair and hard eyes. He had been a Special Forces soldier before the long sleep. "What's happening?" Nick asked into his radio. "The Outer Federation worlds are under attack." Maya's voice came back. "The dark ships are here." Nick ran to the command center. Jake was already there, watching the screens with Dr. Carter and Alex. The screens showed space battles far away. Federation ships were fighting the dark vessels, but they were losing badly. "How bad is it?" Nick asked. "Bad," Jake said. "The Federation lost 15 worlds in the first hour. Their ships can't even hurt the attackers." On the screens, they watched. Federation warships explode as the dark ships fired strange energy weapons. The dark ships moved fast and seemed to know exactly where to hit. "Jake, we're getting a message from Admiral Zektar," Maya said. The blue-skinned alien appeared on the main screen. It looked scared and desperate. "Admiral Zektar says they need our help," Maya translated. "Their weapons don't work against the attackers. They're asking if we know how to fight them." Jake felt his heart racing. His body was telling him to fight, to protect, to defend. "Tell the Admiral we know who they are," Jake said. "They're called the Devourers. We fought them before." Maya translated. Admiral Zektar's eyes grew wide. "It says that's impossible. It says humans were never advanced enough to fight an enemy like this. Tell it we weren't always the humans they think we were." Jake said. While Maya talked to the Admiral, Dr. Carol Martinez ran into the command center. Carol was a scientist who studied alien life forms. She looked very worried. "Jake, I've been studying the attack patterns," Carol said. "These aren't normal aliens attacking the Federation." "What do you mean?" Dr. Carter asked. "Look at this." Carol showed them her computer screen. "I analyzed the energy signatures from the dark ships. They're not completely alien." "I don't understand," Alex said. Carol pointed to the data. "Part of their technology is human. Very old human technology, but definitely human." Jake felt a cold fear in his stomach. "Are you saying the Devourers are human?" "I think they used to be," Carol said, "a long time ago. But they changed themselves, made themselves into something else." Amy Foster joined them. She had been studying the old files all night. "Carol's right," Amy said. "I found more records. The Devourers were humans who left the galaxy thousands of years ago. They went to the dark space between galaxies and found something there. Something that changed them." "Changed them how?" Nick asked. "They became obsessed with consuming life. They wanted to eat the life force of every living thing. They came back to destroy their own species." On the screens, more Federation worlds were falling. The dark ships were getting closer to Earth. "How long do we have?" Jake asked. "Maybe 2 weeks," Maya said. "That's when they'll reach our solar system." Captain Troy Wilson entered the command center. Troy was a pilot who had been exploring the deeper parts of the underground city. He looked excited. "Jake, you need to see what we found," Troy said. "What is it?" Jake asked. "Ships, human ships, hidden in the deepest levels of the city. They're huge, and they look like they're ready to fight." Jake felt his heart jump. "How many ships?" 50 in our city alone. If the other cities have the same number, that's about 250 ships total." "Are they working?" Alex asked. "Kevin Parker is checking them now." "But Jake, these ships are incredible. They're bigger than anything the Federation has. And the technology is far more advanced." Jake made a decision. "Troy, get me Kevin on the radio. We need those ships ready to fly." Kevin Parker's voice came through the radio. "Jake, these ships are amazing. They're powered by something I've never seen before, and they have weapons that could destroy entire planets. Are they ready to fight?" Jake asked. Almost. But Jake, there's something else. The ships are connected to us somehow. I can feel the main ship calling to me, like it wants me to pilot it. Jake felt the same thing. He could sense something large and powerful waiting for him, something that belonged to him. Where are you, Kevin? Jake asked. Deep underground, A7. Jake, you need to come down here. The biggest ship is here, and I think it's meant for you. Jake looked at his team. Nick, take half our people and start getting ready for ground combat. Alex, coordinate with the other cities. I want everyone ready to fight. Where are you going? Dr. Carter asked. To get our ship, Jake said. Jake and Troy went down to the deepest level of the city. The elevator took them so far down that Jake's ears popped. When the doors opened, they walked into a huge space filled with ships. The ships were beautiful and terrible at the same time. They were white and silver, with smooth curves and sharp edges. They hummed with power, even while they were turned off. There, Troy pointed to the biggest ship. That's the one calling to you. Jake walked up to the ship. It was massive, at least a mile long. When he got close, lights started turning on. A door opened in the side of the ship. It knows you, Troy said. Jake stepped inside the ship. The inside was as amazing as the outside. Everything was clean and new, like it had been built yesterday. Screens and controls covered the walls. Jake walked to what looked like the captain's chair. When he sat down, the ship came alive. Screens turned on all around him. He could suddenly see through the ship's sensors. He could feel the ship's power flowing through him. Welcome home, Captain Morrison, a voice said. Jake looked around. Who's there? I am the ship's intelligence. I have been waiting for you to return. Return from where? From the long sleep. The ship has been waiting for 800,000 years for humans to wake up and take command again. Jake felt information flowing into his mind. He suddenly knew how to control the ship, how to fly it, how to fight with it. What is this ship's name? Jake asked. I am the New Horizon. I was built to fight the Devourers, as were all the ships in the fleet. Fleet? All the human cities have ships like me. We are the last defense against the Devourers. We are ready to fight. Jake felt power flowing through his body. He was connecting with the ship, becoming part of it. New Horizon. How many Devourers are coming? Thousands of ships, millions of Devourers. They want to consume all life in the galaxy. Can we stop them? We can try. But we will need all the human ships working together. And we will need the Federation to help us. Jake stood up from the captain's chair. He felt different now, stronger, more confident. He was becoming what he was meant to be. New Horizon, send a message to all the human cities. Tell them to prepare. Their ships were going to war. Yes, Captain. Jake walked back to Troy. His friend was staring at him with wide eyes. Jake, you look different, Troy said. I feel different. I feel ready. Jake looked at the other ships in the bay. Soon, humans would pilot them into battle against their own twisted brothers. The Devourers had returned, but this time, humanity was ready. Troy, get Linda Graham on the radio. Tell her to contact the Federation Council. Tell them we're ready to help them fight. What if they don't trust us? Troy asked. Jake smiled. It was not a friendly smile. Then we'll save the galaxy without them. The New Horizon hummed with power around them. Soon, it would fly among the stars again, carrying humans into battle against an enemy that wanted to destroy everything they loved. Jake felt his heart beating strong and steady. The real war was about to begin. The final battle began at dawn. Admiral Susan Clark stood on the bridge of the New Horizon as it flew through space toward the Devourer fleet. Susan was a small woman with short red hair, but her eyes were hard as steel. She had taken command of the human fleet while Jake led the ground forces. "How many ships do we have?" Susan asked. 247 human ships, Captain Robert Lee answered, plus about 3,000 Federation ships that finally decided to help us. Susan looked at the screens showing the approaching enemy. The Devourer fleet was massive. Thousands of dark ships that seemed to eat the light around them. "How many Devourers?" Susan asked. "Too many to count," Robert said. "But our ships are stronger, and we know how to fight them." On the planet below, Jake was leading the ground defense. The Devourers had landed on 12 different worlds, trying to set up bases. Jake's job was to stop them. Colonel Nick Davis. "Report," Jake said into his radio. "We've got Devourer soldiers on the ground," Nick's voice came back. "But Jake, they're not what we expected." "What do you mean?" "They look like us, like humans, but wrong. Their eyes are black and they move too fast. And Jake, they're trying to talk to us." Jake felt his heart racing. "What are they saying?" "They're saying they want to come home. They're saying they want to be human again." Dr. Peter Mills was working in his laboratory when he made the discovery that changed everything. Peter was a young scientist with messy brown hair and thick glasses. "Jake, I figured it out," Peter said on the radio. "I know how to stop them." "How?" Jake asked. "The Devourers aren't really evil. They're sick. Whatever they found in the dark space between galaxies, it infected them. It made them hungry for life energy, but it also made them hate what they became." "Can we cure them?" Jake asked. "I think so. But we need to get close to their main ship. I need to send a signal directly to their command center." In space, Admiral Susan Clark was fighting the battle of her life. The human ships were incredibly powerful, but the Devourers had more ships, and they fought like they had nothing to lose. "Susan, this is Commander Lisa Hayes," came a voice over the radio. Lisa was leading a group of the fastest human ships called Phoenix Squadron. "Go ahead, Lisa," Susan said. "I can see their command ship. It's huge, bigger than a moon. But I think I can get close to it." "That's suicide, Lisa. Their defenses are too strong." "Not if I do it right." "Susan, I need you to keep their attention on the main fleet." "I'm going to try something crazy." Susan watched as Lisa's small squadron of ships broke away from the main battle. They flew straight toward the massive Devourer command ship. On the Oz ground, Jake was fighting Devourer soldiers in the ruins of an old city. But these weren't normal soldiers. They moved like liquid, and their weapons could cut through anything. "Nick, fall back to position 2, Jake ordered. "Jake, they're not trying to kill us," Nick said. "They're trying to capture us. I think they want to turn us into Devourers like them." Jake felt his body changing as he fought. He was moving faster than any human should be able to move. His reflexes were perfect. His aim was deadly. "That's not going to happen," Jake said. "We're not becoming like them." Jake fought his way through the Devourer soldiers. Each time he fought, he felt stronger. His body was remembering how to be a warrior, how to protect the galaxy dot in space. Lisa Hayes and her Phoenix Squadron were flying through the Devourer defenses. The enemy ships fired at them with dark energy. Weapons, but Lisa's ships were too fast. "Phoenix 2, stay close," Lisa said to her wingman. "I'm with you, Phoenix Leader," came the reply. Lisa could see the command ship getting bigger and bigger. It was covered in spikes and had a strange glow around it. As she got closer, she could hear something in her radio. Voices, human voices. "Help. U.S., the voices said. "Please help us come home." "Peter, are you hearing this?" Lisa asked. Dr. Peter Mills was monitoring the mission from his lab. "Yes, I hear them." "Lisa, those are the original Devourers." They're still human inside. They want to be saved. Lisa flew her ship into the command ship's docking bay. It was a huge space filled with strange machines and twisted metal. As soon as she landed, Devourer soldiers surrounded her ship. But they didn't attack. They just stood there, looking at her ship with their black eyes. Lisa opened her ship's door and stepped out. The Devourers were tall and thin, with gray skin and long fingers. But she could see that they had once been human. "I'm here to help," Lisa said. The largest Devourer stepped forward. When it spoke, its voice was sad and tired. "We have been lost for so long," it said. "We went into the dark seeking power. But the dark consumed us instead. We can fix this." Lisa said, "My friend has found a way to cure you." The Devourer looked at her with hope in its black eyes. "Can you make us human again? We can try." Back on Earth, Dr. Peter Mills was working frantically in his laboratory. He had built a device that could send a special signal through space, a signal that could reach into the Devourers' minds and break the infection that had changed them. "Jake, I'm ready," Peter said. "But I need Lisa to connect her ship to the Devourer Command Center." "Lisa, do you copy?" Jake asked. "I'm here." Lisa's voice came through the radio. "The Devourers are helping me. They want to be cured." Lisa connected her ship's computer to the Devourer command ship. Suddenly, Peter's signal could reach every Devourer in the galaxy. The effect was immediate. The dark ships stopped fighting. The Devourer soldiers on the ground stopped attacking. All across the galaxy, the Devourers began to change. Their black eyes became normal colors. Their gray skin became pink and brown. Their twisted bodies became human again. "It's working," Lisa said. "They're becoming human again." Admiral Susan Clark watched as the Devourer fleet powered down their weapons. The dark ships began to glow with normal light instead of the evil darkness they had carried before. "All ships, cease fire," Susan ordered. "The Devourers are surrendering." On the ground, Jake watched as the enemy soldiers transformed back into humans. They looked confused and scared, but they were human again. "Nick, help them," Jake ordered. "They're our people now." The war was over, but the real work was just beginning. 3 months later, Jake stood in the great meeting hall on Earth. Representatives from all the Federation species were there. So were the humans who had once been Devourers. Admiral Ziktar stepped forward to speak. "The Galactic Federation owes humanity a great debt," it said through Maya's translation. "You saved us all." Jake looked at his friends. Dr. Carter was working with the former Devourers, helping them remember how to be human. Alex was organizing the new Galactic Defense Forces. Maya was helping different species learn to communicate better. "We didn't save you," Jake said. "We saved ourselves. All of us, human, Federation, and former Devourer. We're all part of the same galaxy." The Federation Council voted to make humanity full members of the galactic community. But more than that, they asked humans to help lead the galaxy into a new age of peace and exploration. Dr. Peter Mills became the head of the new Galactic Medical Center, working to heal the damage the Devourers had caused. Commander Lisa Hayes became an explorer, leading missions to find new worlds and new species. Colonel Nick Davis started the Galactic Defense Academy, teaching all species how to work together to protect their worlds. Susan Clark became the first human admiral in the Federation fleet, commanding ships with crews from a dozen different species. Jake was elected to the Galactic Council as the human representative. His first act was to establish the Protection Accord, a promise that no species would ever be abandoned or forgotten again. As Jake stood on his ship looking out at the stars, he felt proud of what humanity had accomplished. They had awakened, after nearly 1,000,000 years, to find their galaxy in danger. But instead of fighting for themselves alone, they had fought to save everyone. The galaxy was safe now. And for the first time in almost 1,000,000 years, humans were home among the stars, where they belonged. Dr. Lisa Carter joined Jake on the observation deck. "Do you think we'll ever have to fight like this again?" she asked. Jake looked out at the peaceful stars. Ships from dozens of species flew together in formation. The galaxy was united like never before. "Maybe," Jake said. "But if we do, we won't be fighting alone. We'll have friends." "Allies, family," Lisa smiled. "The galaxy is a big place. I wonder what else is out there, waiting for us to find it." Jake felt that familiar feeling in his chest. But now it wasn't warning him of danger. It was telling him about possibilities, about adventures, about the future. "I guess we'll find out together," he said. The human ships flew on through space, carrying their crews toward new worlds and new discoveries. Humanity was awake. The galaxy was safe. And the greatest adventures were still waiting to be discovered. Behind them, Earth glowed blue and green in the light of its sun. It was home. But now the entire galaxy was home too. The awakening was complete.